You think they've realized how bad it is? You think they have? It's okay. It's not that bad. So, I can remember when all of this first started. Yeah, I found some great techniques. I believe it was a channel, Spiritual Sebs, SEBS. His grounding, shielding, and flashing technique is what basically started me off with the activations. How important shielding was in activating the light just never seemed to really dawn onto the situation. However, when I hear people needing exorcisms, well, yeah, I mean, you've got multiple readers talking about us seeing their eyes turn black. You have multiple readers with the gift of sight. We literally see these entities chewing on their chakra system. Now, my concern is when you have certain teachers, if you live a good quality of life, you don't need to shield. Well, that's because they were harvesting Pisces energy. That's that Leo energy y'all are talking about that was harvesting Pisces spiritual protection. That's what it for cash and prizes. It's just what it is. That's the divination abuser intercepting cash, whatever. Okay, now that they have lost their spiritual protection, you're talking about a body jumper. And I mean, I think what is done is done. I don't think there is a way out. Right? Now you're going to have these entities. We're protected by the angels, and they have triggered demons. It's all you have to do is pay attention. Are they triggered by the light? Are they triggered by the light? Chances are they're triggered demons. Look at that. And I mean, they got a taste of the inner light of the INFJ. They got a taste of that Empress energy, and it comes from doing a lot of inner work, a lot of attunements, things of that nature, and then with it being an energy that affects them in ways that they don't understand, I'm not going to be responsible for a bunch of people having strange effects and karmic situations because they played with energy that they don't understand. I just saw a post online talking about how, they monitor everything that we do and steal our creativity, and that's it. That's how they get the followers. That's how they get the airtime. They do the devil's bidding, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now that we are protected and we have manifested that energy going back on them, that's going to be the flipping the world upside down, because now you have the trigger demons in charge, right? See, now you have all of those that, okay, cool. So that has to be transmuted to the spiritual world. You have to let God handle that. That's what it is, because that's where with the wicked in control, that's the main reason why you have firearm rights. It's just what it is. And if you've already got on a macro level them wanting to build a golden dome for missile defense over top of America, is that true? And how is a golden dome going to protect them from solar flares? They're ruffling the sun. That's a completely different, it's in God's hands now. It's in God's hands at this point. However, that's what we have to get over next, is the fact that these dark entities that we see, it's a simple class. Reiki for astral sight activation exercises. Okay, cool. They tell you it's 6 months where these individuals depolarized to be able to work with positive and negative energy. We just basically ask and receive. and have to do a lot. I mean, the road less traveled, the harder path, has the greatest rewards. I agree with that. However, balancing the dark and the light, I mean, they got in the way of something that was already set in stone, something that was already ordained in the astral realm. It's what it is. You know, it's more important. You have to think of the way that the energy transfers. You know, you've got Madame Takata, and I just said it. It's a very simple answer of why Pisces is able to walk around this, why the ancestors got involved. Well, number one, Madame Takata, right? They don't, you're talking about gold diggers nowadays that don't even respect the living, much less the legacy that was left by the dead. So, I mean, you've got Madame Takata Reiki, and then you've got Dolores Cannon QHHT. And that was one of the first things Dolores said when we started learning the first level, was that, you know, she was worried about teaching her technique to people because strange things happen. Strange things happen to people in the sub-non-ballistic trance. Was a consciously conscious INFJ, I'm able to tap right into that. Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, was an INFJ Pisces. Right? So when you're able to tap into these realms, you have to be shielded. So grounding, shielding, and flashing was very, very unique and a hell of a benefit until Christine Holliday had to remove a reptilian from me in a laundromat. I've told this story before. You know, when a woman can make you almost throw up in a laundromat over Messenger out of the Lightworkers lab, chances are something very strange is going on. Right? You do the research, you find out what it is, and she did. Christine laid it out for me. She didn't tell me. She was like the Oracle from the Matrix. She didn't tell me. You know, when you ask a question, she would give you like one or two words, so you would go and do your own research instead of draining her like an energy vampire. And I fully understand that. And I was happy to do the research. The thing is, now you have individuals that have no spiritual protection that are being taken on by these entities. What are the results? Cooking a dog and blaming it on an 11-year-old being the devil. A 5-star client, 5-star reviewed client contacting me with a 23-year-old that tried to set her house on fire. We've got fire magic backfiring. That was in the cards. That's what it is. And I mean, you have these fire signs. There's a lot of fire magic. I don't fuck with any of that. I'm shielded from it. And how it works as a backfire over cash, I have no idea. I don't care. Activating their karma is basically what's happening. So, triggers their demons. They have no spiritual protection because they're obviously not living a good quality of life. If, you know, they're plotting, scheming, Alibaba and 40 thievings. Anyway, when you're getting into the realm of them summoning jinn, okay, my past life regression, you know, it's what it is. It wasn't in this dimension. So when I have readers talking about, you know, God plucked you from the underworld, okay, well, it's what it is. We're constantly learning, constantly putting the puzzle pieces together. And I knew that, you know, if the higher self was going to spoon feed Dolores Cannon for 23 years, then I could be looking at the same thing, getting spoon fed for 23 years to get these concepts fully down. What is the problem with that? You got people worried about the destiny, worried about the money, creating fire magic, summoning jinn, all that weird shit. And I mean, no one's going to stop them until they're stopped. They will stop at nothing to win, because that's the shit that they're trying to keep a secret. They're trying to keep that shit a secret because they don't want the truth coming out. Me having to deal with witchcraft and magic and all that bullshit since childhood, And now I've got readers telling the entire planet that, practitioners have been doing whatever because they saw the ability. And I was the kid that, followed the mailman down the street and shit because I just kind of knew where I was going. Anyway. No, I mean, you're talking about people that are now exposed, and it's absolutely the devil's advocate. They're the ones that don't want to be found out, and you gave your power away to them. You follow their system. You gave your power away to them, right? They're going to give out. It's like fucking working for Darth Vader. That's what it is. They chose the dark side. You don't know the powers of the dark side, right? And then you've got the Dark Emperor, which is like the Wicked Witch of the West, playing around with flying monkeys and shit and wanting the little dog too. It's just what it is. I prefer Glinda to the White Witch. Anyway, the point is, new level, new devils. Yes, in groups, gaggles, hives, herds, covens. And I mean, that's the thing, is if we know they're trying to silence us because they've been harvesting the energy and stealing the creativity and don't want others to know. And I mean, that's the problem with these, Reiki for astral sight activation. That gift of sight that is all in your cards, that's a 6-month exercise. It takes 6 months to activate that. Most people are not even going to put in 6 minutes when the average attention span's only 8 seconds. They're too busy death scrolling to do the work. Too busy death scrolling. That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. But I mean, that's the thing, is you have to dig under a mountain of bullshit copycats to find the knowledge keeper. The knowledge keeper, and that's how you know the shit is legit, when it's translated out of another language, right? Because this is how the ancestors lived off of the land. This is how they knew the right decisions to make.